Whether it be an apocalyptic situation or whether you're just simply enjoying the great outdoors, there's one item that you should always have on you, and that's a mini survival kit. Stay tuned, I'll show you what's inside. YouTube, it's Bugout, and welcome to my mini survival kit video. And as I do in all my videos, if you guys are interested in any of the products that you see in this video, be sure that you check out links in the description box down below for where you can find them on Amazon.com. So survival kits are very important. They can literally mean the difference between life and death, and there's countless stories about people using the items that they have on them or being creative in order to survive. But there's a couple of rules of thumb when it comes to survival kits. David Canturbury, he came out with something known as the 10 C's of survival. I'll link this information down below as well. But he recommends these top 5 at a minimum whenever you're going into the great outdoors in case there is a worst case scenario. Recommends a cutting tool, basically full tang knife, fixed blade knife, as well as combustion, basically a way of starting fire. Cover, basically shelter, container for holding purifying water, cordage like rope and paracord, something like that. And then there's an additional 5 that he also recommends. So a candle, basically a way of illuminating if you're stuck out at nighttime. Cotton, basically for a tinder for your fire. Compass for orienting, and you got cargo tape, duct tape, and then we got a canvas needle for repairs. And then we have something known as the survival rule of 3s, which basically a way of prioritizing the importance of different survival situations, right? So you can last 3 minutes without air, 3 minutes without shelter, 3 days without water, and then 3 weeks without food. But these are just things to keep in mind when you make survival kits and what you should prioritize. Don't make the mistake that I see a lot of other people do, which is just to stuff as much things as you can into your kits, whether that be a small container such as Altoid tin, and I've done Altoid videos, Altoid survival tin videos. You guys can check that out in the description box below if you like. So the container you can see is orange, and I got reflective tape on it, and it's also has an O-ring to keep the contents dry, so it's waterproof, right? All of that is important, and I wanted to be able to see it daytime or nighttime, so that's the reason behind the colors and the reflective coating. And I also have chose the size to be similar to a smartphone size. And then you can see right off the bat, we have a full tang knife. This is known as the Essie Azula. And the Fire Ant Red is a Blade HQ exclusive. It's going to be more expensive than the ones that you find on Amazon, but I'll make sure to link both of those in the description box below. So on the back side, we have some cordage, and this is known as Paracord, or it's also commonly known as 550 Paracord because it can hold 550 pounds of weight because it has inner strands. This is basically what is used for parachutes in the military. This is what's holding the parachute, the person to the parachute. But the multitude of different purposes. The inner strands can be used as lots of different things, including sewing up tears and tarps and such. But in this paracord, and I'll link it down below, it also has a fishing line as well as copper thread for making snares, as well as tinder for helping with fires. And then underneath that cordage, I have some other items, including this Whirl Pack, which is a container for holding 1 liter of water, and I have one that's unfurled here, but it also stands whenever it's full of water, and you can see. So that's how much water can be purified, or can be held, and I'll talk about why that 1 liter is important here in a second. But some other items that are inside here, we have a mylar blanket, which reflects 80% of the body heat back to you, which is going to be an excellent, basically excellent cover. And then we also have several feet of duct tape, as well as on the inside we have, this is from Ready Man, but this you do have a saw, although that's kind of, I don't know, probably not going to be very useful. But we have some fishing lures and hooks, as well as a Fresno lens, which in direct sunlight this can be used to start a fire. Now a fire, because of how important it is, as you guys might remember from the rule of threes, it's good to have redundancies. So let's go ahead and dive into what's inside the kit. Let's begin by unbuckling these, and like I said, it is waterproof. So as you can see, I do have €20 right here. It's basically just some emergency cash. And then we have some hooks, as well as some sail needles underneath that reflective tape. And moving down here, we have some ways of starting fire, as well as flashlight. And I'll just go ahead and start talking about these items. So here's a Bic lighter, but around it we have basically some hemp rope. And this is going to serve basically as a kind of like a mini wick. So let me put that out and remind kids not to play with fire. But this is a full-size Bic, and I think because fire is important, that's why it takes up so much room in this kit. Speaking of which, we have something known as live fire, and you might have seen this in some of my other videos. But the way this works is you can either with a spark or with a flame, you can light this. You first scrape the waxy coating, and then whenever you're done with it, you simply close this, sealing off the oxygen, the airflow, and extinguishing the flame after you have lit your tinder pile. Speaking of tinder, we have some cotton tinder tabs. These are known as quick tinder. We also have a flashlight, and this takes a AAA battery, and I wanted a flashlight that took a common battery, even though there are smaller flashlights, including ones that I own myself. And then we just, basically this is just a pen, and having a pen in a survival situation is good for not just writing down important piece of information, but you can write directions and communicate to people who, as you're going along your journey, leave notes behind where you're going and stuff. Let me just dump this out here, that way I don't forget to cover anything. But here, once again, we have one of those packs that can hold water. So I got two of them just in case one of them is punctured. And then on the inside, and remember I have duct tape in case anything like that is punctured. But we have some water purification tablets. Each of these can purify, you guessed it, 1 liter of water. And then going to some of these items that were inside that. So we have a few different bandages. I don't have a lot of first aid items in here because of the size, but this and duct tape can do a lot of good. And then we have some pliers. These are, I say pliers, it's a multi-tool which has pliers inside. This is the Leatherman Squirt, and in addition to having that, as well as scissors and other everyday care types of items, you have a secondary blade on it as well. So I like having something like this, and pliers comes in handy, especially when camping or when you're out in the woods. A lot more handy than you would realize. And then we have some tweezers. We have a titanium whistle from Nightcore, button compass, a flint wheel, and a signal mirror. So those are all of the items that I keep inside this mini survival kit. As I said before, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But you can find all of these items on Amazon.com, except probably a $20 bill. The €20, I should say. Anyways, y'all stay safe out there, and remember, it pays to be repaired. God bless.